So this channel has really mostly been about low heart rate based training and maffetone style training, but today I'm quitting that type of training, and let me tell you why. How's it going, runners? My name is Justin Thompson. I'm your average running PT, and I help the average runner achieve their own personal elite status. If that's something that you are into, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and click the bell so that you know when the next video comes out. So let me make something abundantly clear. I still love low heart rate training. I still love the concept. I still love the idea. I still love the health benefits. I just have to stop doing it for right now. And this is not forever. I'm probably going to come back to it eventually at some point, but I just want to make it very clear that I'm not quitting it because I don't think that it's effective. I do think it is very effective. Let me just show you why, though, I need to stop doing it for now. And what it really comes down to is the fact that everybody has a different schedule and everybody has a different ability to put in their training mileage, their time, their distances, their whatever. And so for me right now, I just started a new job about a month ago, and I'm struggling to figure out how to put in my low heart rate training, because this is the reality of low heart rate training. The more you do, the more effective it is. So if I put in more miles at a lower heart rate, then I'm going to get a better aerobic base. Okay, but if I don't have the time to put in those extra miles, I think for myself it's going to be a better use of my time if I am putting in runs that are a little bit faster, have a little bit more pop, a little bit more spring to them, rather than just living at a low heart rate level for shorter runs that aren't going to be nearly as effective at building my aerobic capacity or any other sort of energy system either. So again, it's all about timing, and basically what I'm realizing now since I've started this new job is I'm going to have maybe 30 minutes in the morning to go for a run. And that's just not enough for me to justify just running super slow for 30 minutes. So for me, it's going to be a slight change in the way that I am doing things. Now, I want to make this very clear too. Because I am going to be changing the intensity of my runs, that means I am going to have to change the frequency of my runs as well. Because the great thing about low heart rate training is that you can pretty much do it every single day and your body can quickly and easily recover. When you're doing these higher intensity runs, your body needs that time in between to allow the tissues to heal and allow everything to come back to normal before you go for that next hard run. So for me right now, instead of running 6 times a week and being able to put in those longer, slower runs, I'm going to have to change things down to about 3 times a week, and that way I can get that day in between to completely recover before I go out for the next harder run. Now, I'm not new to this type of running either. This is something that I've really done a lot of in the past. I've done a lot more of these faster running training cycles where I am running faster, but I'm running fewer times a week, and I've gotten really, really good results out of that. So I feel like I can still get some good results out of this. I just won't have that same kind of aerobic base, and I'm definitely not going to be shooting for something like a half marathon or something like that. These races that I'm going to be running are definitely going to have to be shorter because I don't have that extra aerobic base to build off of. But I am excited to try and start training a little bit harder again, and I'm getting excited because I think I can finally start getting back into racing after I had my knee injury back earlier this year. Now, aside from just the time factor, I also have some other reasons that I want to not have to think so hard about what my heart rate is doing throughout the course of the run. And it has everything to do with a lot of the stuff that I've been talking about in recent videos, where it's, I don't want to have to worry so much about keeping that heart rate in that certain zone, and it kind of messes with my head a little bit. So I want to be able to relax and just kind of go for a run and have fun with it, rather than thinking, okay, what number am I trying to hit or keep below in order to achieve the goal of this particular run. So for me, I do want to be able to listen to something while I am running. I do want to be able to listen to, I'm learning Spanish, as I've mentioned in the past, but I want to be able to listen to that Spanish audio, which does occupy a lot of my mind. It does take a lot of calories burning in my brain to put focus on that particular task, which does take away from the energy that I'm putting toward running, and therefore does tend to increase my heart rate whenever I am running. So that is something that I want to be able to do, and I cannot be worried about heart rate if I am wanting to do that. And it has also just been a frustrating year, and sometimes you just want to go and get out and push yourself a little bit in order to de-stress and get some of that stuff out of your system. So I'm finding that for me, what I need right now is to just go out there, put in a few miles, but do it in a way that kind of burns off a little bit of excess energy, or brings me a little bit more into focus than just having to focus 100% on, okay, keep everything real slow and easy and conversational. Sometimes you just want to push yourself. Now again, I want to reiterate that it is really, really important that if I am going to be pushing myself a little bit harder, now I'm not saying I'm going to be running intervals every single run, but I do plan on doing tempo runs. I do plan on doing, slightly up tempo, some hills, a few intervals and things like that. So with that, I have to reiterate that you have to be putting in days in between or certain recovery efforts in order to make sure that you are recovering from this type of training. So for me, that means I'm going to be doing maximum of 3 days a week. It may even end up being 2 because I'm also doing playing some soccer on the weekends. So it's, kind of trying to figure out the balance between that as well. But it's really important to make sure that you are putting in that recovery time, doing those recovery efforts. And then I also want to put in a few little strength workouts in between as well. So just trying to build up strength, build up connective tissue strength, and not overdo anything. So for me, that recovery piece is going to be really, really important. Now guys, this is the life of the average runner, right? So the average runner doesn't necessarily have the perfect training schedule. They have life, they have work, they have kids, they've got everything that they've got to deal with on top of trying to put in a run and stay in shape and get and perform well, right? So for me, it's going to be very, very important for me to be flexible with this new schedule that I have and be okay with the fact that I can't necessarily put in those longer, slower runs. I have to put in a little bit higher effort, but do it for a slightly shorter duration. And that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is right now. Hopefully in the future I'll be able to go back to low heart rate training, but for right now, this is where we are, this is where I am, and I hope that you guys will join me on this journey as well and still encourage me along the way, because I know that many of you came to this channel for the low heart rate training talks and things like that. So I apologize for stepping away from that for just a minute, but I hope that we can still find some value in what we're going to be talking about going forward. So that's all I've got for you guys today. Head on out there, seek your elite. God bless, and I will see you next time.